Hi YouTube, this is Robert Soy. Welcome to Getting Wiser Episode 5. We are going to start getting into the meat of things, with something a little bit more advanced today. This tutorial will mostly deal with Wwise, and not so much UE4. Do note that I'm lifting this directly from Wwise 101 and the Audio Kinetic YouTube website. I'm just updating it to fit our purposes. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create a complex play event and learn a few things about attenuations. Today in our grab bag of sounds, I'm using birds for our example. We will set up our play event to have several birds call to one another, and fly across you and once again chirp. Remember to add in sounds, just drag and drop them into the actor mixer hierarchy, and click Import. Now let's go to our Events tab and create a new play event. Remember last week I showed that you can drag and drop sounds right into these new play events. You can not only do that for one sound, but multiple sounds. With this, you can play several sounds in succession. Do note when creating a new play event that all sounds will play at the very beginning. Remember to add a delay. So let's show off 2D attenuation. Let's go to our first sound, the little birds, and then click on the Positioning tab. Let's say we want the sound to always come from the left. We can edit our 2D attenuation to do that. 2D attenuation is what any sound is set to as its default. We can take the little middle dot in the middle of the graph and place it over to the left side. Now the sound will always play from there. Now let's do the same for the right side with the other bird. So now let's get a few more advanced things. Let's say we want our birds to play randomly between these two sounds, or even multiple sounds. We have a container just for that. All you have to do is select multiple sounds, right-click, and create a new container for them. We will get into the others later, but for now, all we need is the random container. Now what I want are these sounds to go rushing across my head like the bird is going around me. And for the sake of this demo, let's say that they always do this, instead of the game deciding how these sounds go. In a more practical sense, it would be great for something like mysterious sounds to go by. So let's give our sounds 3D attenuation. Instead of it being game-defined, let's make it user-defined. And with user-defined, we can do this neat trick. We can create these things called paths. Think of it like 2D attenuation, but this time you can plot several points that the sound will follow. Do note that when doing this, that it does not matter how long your clip is. If you have a path set for 5 seconds, it'll complete the path in 5 seconds. So remember to edit the time for it. It is located at the bottom right of the interface. And we can create several paths for this too, so it does not get too repetitive. You can look for yourself, but there are several ways you can set up the paths, so they can play in certain order or in random if you want. All I'm doing in the demo is just setting up different paths. Now we can take this random container and place it into our play event. Just drag and drop it. Do note that you can create a play event with just the container itself, but we can create really complex events by using the delay system in Wwise. Now in the demo I'll do the exact same thing for the birds to call back after they have flown across. I'm creating a new random container and setting it up with a 3D attenuation. You can also set up these attenuations by each individual sound itself instead of the container. Remember which one you are in before you go to the Positioning tab. Now, something that is really cool about the random container, even though it is random, you can set the amount of which one certain sound is played. With the random container selected in the contents editor, you can mess with the value to the right of each sound name. The higher the value, the more likely the sound will play. And to add even more variation to our sound, we can go to each individual sound clip. Remember last time I showed you could mess with the pitch. Right-click the pitch on any sound and you can randomize it as well. Do note that the min and the max values are based off of the value that is in the main box. The Enable Randomizer can be used both for low-pass filters and high-pass filters as well. In the demo, I'm randomizing the pitch of the other sounds as well. Remember, just right-click and then click Enable Randomizer. Now let's preview the sound with the bird flaps. Remember to add in the delay for the random container. Now let's add in the callback from the other birds, and remember to delay that one as well. Awesome! Now the sound is ready to be imported to UE4. Remember, just drag and drop the play event into the library of UE4, set its banks, and click Generate Sound Banks. I've already set up a simple trigger box for the sound to play on. And that concludes this week's episode of Getting Wiser. Next time I'll do an updated version of building the engine as well as connecting the project. With the update of 4.7, a lot has changed. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time!